Hi, welcome to my channel, Stitch and Style by me, Nadia, and it's another Friday Sews. This week I'm going to be talking about the Peppermint wide leg pants, and that's a collaboration between In the Folds and Peppermint magazine. I'll tell you a little bit about the pattern first before I show you my version. So here is the line drawing. As you can see, it's wide legs and they do come up slightly cropped. They've got a curved pocket on either side. They've got a fly front and button and a curved waistband, and there's darts on the back. So as you can see here, it gives it a 2 out of 5 for difficulty, skill level, and I think that's probably right. Maybe I would put it maybe a 3 because you do have the fly front, which the instructions in this are really good, but it's still a little bit tricky. And with pants, it can be quite difficult to fit as well. So yeah, maybe not a complete beginner or your first pair of trousers. If you've made any trousers before, then I would definitely give them a go. I have previously made these trousers twice and I'll talk about those versions in a minute. First, I'll just talk about the sizing. It goes from a size A to a size J. Unfortunately, it's not the most size inclusive. It starts from waist 24 inches, hip 33 inches, and goes to a waist 45.5 inches up to a hip 54.5. This is a free pattern. In terms of fabric, it recommends to use medium to heavy bottom weight fabrics with no stretch. Consider using cotton twill, linen, corduroy or denim, and you need one 24mm button and a 7-inch standard zip, trouser or dress zip, and some interfacing as well. My inspiration for these trousers were a pair of wide leg jeans that I tried on in Marks and Spencer's, and I really liked the look of them on me, and I really wanted to try and create something similar, and I wanted them to be full length. I have already done a pair that's been cropped, and I'll put a picture of those in now. These were my second pair of Peppermint wide leg pants. I made a twirl version first, and that's when I realised how much I needed a sway back adjustment. So I did the sway back adjustment for the first time on a pattern piece, and it fit much better. Now there is still a tiny little bit of excess fabric underneath the waistband at the back, so I thought I'd do a little bit more of a sway back adjustment. Now it has actually made the crotch on the version that I've made this time just a tiny little bit tight, so I don't know whether actually I need a little bit of a full seat adjustment as well, so maybe I'll look into that next time. Sorry, the birds are really loud. I'm just going to close the window. Yeah, I don't know if anybody has experiences of doing a full seat adjustment, because I'm just thinking that maybe I just need a little bit of extra room where it goes around on the crotch curve, and if that's what you call it. I'm totally learning my way through fitting, so if anybody has got any tips or anything they want to share, then please do. I'll be very grateful to hear them. So that was the inspiration behind these trousers. Now, I showed you a couple of weeks ago in a fabric haul that I got from Rainbow Fabrics that I got a cotton drill fabric, and I decided to use that cotton drill. I thought that would be perfect for these, and actually I'm very happy with the fabric choice with these Peppermint wide leg pants. My measurements are a 30-inch waist, 42-inch hip, and I have a 32 inside leg measurement. Now I made, and I'm 5'9", or 5'8.5", I should say. So those are my measurements. I altered the pattern pieces as I went along. Actually, I thought I'd over-altered them. I was having a bit of a panic because I kind of measured the ones that I've just shown you against the pattern piece, and I thought I would need to take off quite a bit, but then I was a little bit worried I'd taken off too much, particularly at the sides of the hips, but actually it worked out okay. And I nearly even went down to the size D at the sides, which is drafted for a waist measurement of 30 inches, which is my waist measurement, but a hip of 39 inches, and I'm 42. So even though they're supposed to be quite slim fitting at the hip, I think they give more room actually than you need. And the finished garment measurement in terms of the length of the trouser is 25 7/8 for a size D. Now I added on, I'm sorry to switch here between inches and centimetres, but I added on 19 centimetres to the bottom of the pants, just so I had enough room to play with. I mean, it was plenty. I ended up cutting off about 2 inches and then doing quite a big hem, but I just wanted to make sure I had enough room that I got them exactly the length I wanted them. I want to be able to wear them with trainers, and them just to be above the floor. I didn't really want them dangling on the floor, but I didn't want them a cropped pant either. So I've got the length of them just right, but yeah, I had to cut a bit off. Now the other alteration I made was to just to extend the opening of the pocket bag just very slightly down here by 1 centimetre and 1 centimetre across from here. On my pattern pieces I actually have the stitching line, so I used the stitching line just to extend the pocket opening, and because I felt like it was a little bit tight to get your hands into, so actually I really like that little adjustment that I've made. So now I'm going to put the trousers on. So as you'll see, I've put belt loops on, and those are the belt loops from the Chandler pants, which are by Untitled Thoughts. So I made those before, and yeah, they're perfect belt loops. And so I've got 2 at the front, 2 at the side, and 1 at the centre back. And I've also added on pockets. Sorry to just have my bum sticking in the camera, but I've got pockets here. And these are from the Helen Closet Yanta overalls, these back pockets. Don't know if you can see very well, but it's a nice fit. I have got some room at my waist, so they're not really tight around the waist. They would allow for some fluctuation in waist measurement. If you can see here, this is how my pockets look. So yeah, nice and comfortable, if I can move my ring out of the way, to get the hand in and out of those. I used a smaller button than suggested. I was debating on whether to use a jeans button, but I didn't have a suitable one, and I just wanted to get a button on there quick. So I have thought about ordering a jeans button to go on there, but it's a metal button, so it's quite sturdy. And if I just undo it, and I'll just show you the zip that I used. Now, this zip is quite a bulky zip. I think it's like more for jeans or something very heavyweight. So when I do them up, you can kind of like still see a little bit from the side, the zip poking out. So that's probably the wrong style of zip to use. The other thing that I had a bit of an issue with, now, yeah, last time I made them, I kind of left the tail in the zip, and it came up here. So when I went to put the buttonhole in, I hit the metal and I made a big mess around here. So what I decided to do, I know we should have a stopper at the top, so here there's no stopper, and I was investigating whether I should take the teeth off and then put the stopper on, or what I should do with it. In the end, I've just ended up cutting off about here. I've just ended up cutting off the stopper and the teeth. So that's how I ended up doing it. I think maybe the only other thing I could have done is to perhaps move the zip down so you got the stopper ending just at the top there. I don't know if that would work. That's how I did it in the end. Just to stop, just so I didn't have any metal in this waistband, and then I could sew on my button and sew my buttonhole on without any issues. I wore them when I went round to my mum's the other day, actually, and my mum was like thinking, oh, Nadia wouldn't have made those because they look quite hard to make. But she asked me, she said, oh, have you made those trousers? And I said, yes. And she was very impressed. She says, ooh, she says, I didn't think you would have done, but they look really professional. And so, yeah, I was really happy when my mum said that to me. And I said, yeah, Mum, I can't get like trousers to fit like this in the shops. I just can't get ready to wear ones that fit anywhere near as good as this pair of trousers. And in fact, they're the best, they're the most well-fitting trouser I have ever owned. So very happy with these. And even though there are a little bit of the tricky things to work out, if you just follow the process and go step by step, actually you can do it. I know you can. I got a little bit confused about the zip construction when I was doing it, and I was following the process and I couldn't think that it was going to turn out right. I just kept doubting the process as I was going along. But then when I got to the end, I was like, oh yeah, it all works perfectly. That's how it's supposed to be. I think while you're in the process, it's hard to imagine the final outcome, but you just kind of have to trust the process and just go with it. And actually, following the process in the Folds magazine, this was the first zip insertion I'd ever done like this, with a fly shield and everything. And both times I've done it now, and it wasn't as if I could remember the first time I did it. Both times it's worked out absolutely fine. Yeah, last time I just had that issue with the tape and the additional teeth and the stopper in the waistband. But other than that, all fine. The only other thing I was a little bit confused about was putting the waistband pieces together. I think it shows one way, and I tried it that way, and then I couldn't. I don't know whether it was me or whether it was the instructions had them shown on the wrong side. I'm not 100% sure, so I won't say that it's wrong just in case it's not. But just take your time and just try and match it to your trousers, and then you'll know which way the waistband needs to be attached, if you can understand that. And like just this, like step 19, it tells you to do stuff on the left, and I've like put right ? It looks like it should be on the right rather than the left. So just look at the illustrations as well, just to check. Oh, and on step 25, I've just added and sew, because it doesn't actually tell you to sew it together. It tells you to pin it, but then it doesn't tell you to sew, but you do need to sew it at that point. And the other is just a tiny little typo here where it says 10 and it should be 9, I think. That's on step 26. So this is what I was talking about before. Look, it shows 7 on that side and 8 on that side. Now when I put mine together, I think I had them on the, I think I had to change them round. I unpicked them and put them on the other side. I just really couldn't get my head around that. But as I say, just match it up to your trousers just to make sure. Oh, and in the construction of the waistband, now normally they'll tell you on the inner waistband to press it under 1 centimetre. So your raw edge is enclosed, and then when you stitch on the ditch and you stitch it down, what I always find is that I'm fine stitching in the ditch on the right side. When I turn it over to the wrong side, I've not caught it or something like that, and it ends up a bit of a mess, and then I'm having to unpick and redo places and just never find out it works out that neat. So what I tend to do now, rather than pressing it under 1 centimetre and enclosing the raw edge, I'll just overlock the edge of the waistband and then stitch in the ditch, and you've got loads of room and you never don't catch the inner waistband. So it might not look as neat if you were to be able to like do it like with a professional finish. I'm never able to do a professional finish on the inside. So that's what it looks like on the inside. You can see the overlocked edge here. Then I've got a line of stitching, and I don't think it looks too untidy actually. You could even bias bind that edge, and that could look really pretty actually, depending on like the fabric that you choose. And here's a close-up of my belt loops. So I did actually 2 liners of stitching at the top to keep them in place, and I carefully measured them all so they're exactly the same length, and I used the top of the waistband to line them up. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how neat they are. They're close to being the perfect pair of trousers. I would just make a couple of tweaks next time, and that's around the crotch curve. I just have to sort that out. But it has given me a little bit more confidence now to try jeans. Oh, the other thing that I might do actually, the top stitching on the back pocket isn't quite as neat as I would like, so I might actually remove those back pockets and just re-sew them on again. And I would quite have liked to got my line of stitching a little bit closer to the edge. So yeah, that's something that I might do just to improve the finish of these trousers. But overall, very, very happy with how they've turned out. And I hope you've enjoyed seeing those trousers. They're very difficult actually to capture on camera because they're black, but I hope you can get the idea of them, and let me know if you're going to try the Peppermint wide leg pants. Thanks so much for watching everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye!